Hey all, so I'm back for another fun day of renovations. Today's gonna be a little bit different. So we're gonna be doing some electrical work. I'm actually gonna have an electrician here doing the work. I'm gonna be helping. So it's not gonna be one of those normal videos where you kind of see me working. Well, at least I don't think so. We'll see once he gets here what I'm doing and what I can actually film. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna give you kind of like a before of what we're gonna be doing today. And then afterwards, I'll walk you through, show you what we did, and then probably give you an update on some of the other stuff that's gone on in here since the last video. So to start with, I have all the wires run through this ceiling here. You can see I've got 6 lights hung and kind of waiting. These have all been clamped and they're just kind of waiting to be hooked up. The wiring has all been run. We're gonna put a dimmer switch in here. Once it's done, I feel like this is gonna be a really nice, bright room, at least as bright as the tenants want it. So pretty excited in here. So same thing in here, 4 lights, the room's a little bit different shaped. Everything's ready to go though. All we need to do is cut the wires, strip them back, connect them up, and push them up into the ceiling. I ended up going with these direct mount baffle down lights. I got these at Home Depot. You can select the colors, which I thought was pretty cool, and you don't need a housing. The other thing that I didn't realize when I was first installing these is that the housing, this part right here, doesn't actually need to be secured. So you can just kind of like shove it back up in there afterwards. And if there's ever an issue with the housing, pull it down, replace it, and you're good. I didn't realize that at first, unfortunately, when I had first done this ceiling. I ended up actually like mounting all of these in, and if I ever did have an issue, I would have made it harder for myself in the future. The other thing we're gonna be doing is replacing these older receptacles. They're just 2-prong with a 2-prong plus ground. And we're also gonna be swapping out the switches and receptacles, even if they got a ground here. While I've got the electrician here, I'm taking it as an opportunity to go through and at least check what we can see. As I've been working in here, I have noticed that in some cases, the screws on the side of the receptacles weren't screwed in real tight. So we're gonna take a step down to correct that. All right, so next up, we're going down to the basement. Hopefully you've made it this far instead of commenting on how I shouldn't be replacing a 2-prong with a 2-prong plus ground receptacle. We're getting to that now, down in the basement. So what we got here is a whole row of combination arc and ground fault circuit breakers. I'm gonna replace what I've got in the panel currently with these. That'll allow me to safely replace those ungrounded receptacles upstairs, and it'll ensure that if I do have any loose wiring in the house that could be a potential to start a fire, hopefully those arc fault breakers will help us out. So that's the plan for the day. Hopefully we get to do a little bit of filming, but on the off chance we don't, I'll see you in a bit. All right, so that was a day. The cool thing is it's not done. For some reason, I can never get the electrical stuff right. Honestly, today though probably wasn't something that I could have anticipated. Once we started pulling the outlets, we learned that some of them had 14 gauge wire versus the 12 that's required to be on a 20 amp breaker. And the only breakers I bought were the 20 amp ARC and GFCI protected breakers. All in all, everything worked out. I ended up having to scramble really quickly to diagnose and figure out which branches I needed to rerun. I was able to do it pretty quickly. My electrician was here doing the lights and the receptacles and the switches and all that. I'm gonna have to have him come back. I ended up being 1 arc fault short. And in the room in there, which I'll show you in a second, we're gonna do some wire molding because once we got in there, it was the 14 gauge wire and I'm not gonna be able to rerun that. So what we're gonna do is wire molding along one part of that room, which honestly will make it better because if the tenants wanna put in an air conditioner or something like that, I won't have to worry about trips or overloading the circuit. So first things first though, have a look at this. Oh my gosh. Oh, look at that. Ooh. I know, lights, who cares, right? I have never had a working light in this room. I've never seen it lit up. This is I'm so excited, this is fantastic. Not only that, but we were able to replace both these receptacles over here. And then I still have to put in a receptacle down there. That's one of the new ones I had to rerun. That guy down there has all been replaced. And then there were a few along the walls in the living room in here. Those have all been taken care of. And then in here, super excited about these. Unfortunately, we had a little miscommunication. He was replacing a bunch of switches. The dimmer had fallen on the floor. So when he's next here, I'll ask him to replace the switch as well with the dimmer. And then in the kitchen here, pretty much everything's been replaced, including what's underneath over there. This refrigerator here is one we discovered late in the day. So I ended up pulling that using the old wire to snake it down. And you know, obviously I haven't cut it off yet, but we'll get that finished next time he's here. So this is another one I had to rerun quickly. What we're gonna do is we're gonna run wire molding along this wall, have an outlet there, and have an outlet there. Honestly, I'm not super keen on the wire molding, but at this point, given where we're at in the project and the fact that there's really no access under there, that's the choice. I mean, that's that's what we can do. Even if I wanted to open up that wall, I'd have to take these hydronic baseboards out. There's really no way to get down underneath there and then kind of crawl through. It's all sealed off. So definitely a little bit of a different video today. Hopefully you enjoyed it. So I was helping out, but I was here working on someone else's time that I was paying for. So I was mostly just focused on doing the best job I could, not making any mistakes, but going fairly quickly. So yeah, hopefully it works out. As always, thanks for watching. If you like this content, please like and subscribe, and we'll see you next time.